Hi everybody, my name is Brandon Ritchie, and today I want to talk about the class management app that I've been working on and how you can implement it into your class and how to run it. So to start out, all of the code for this app is found in the BYUIR organization under the class management repository. It's all found here. To start out, what you want to do is you want to create a GitHub token if you're working with the GitHub side of the app and or a Harvest API key if you're working for the Harvest, working on the Harvest side of the app. The way you do this is you follow these links found in the top. So if we click on the GitHub one, this is an article talking about how you can create your API key. And on the Harvest one, it asks you for your Harvest login, and assuming you have the permissions necessary, you can create a personal access token. It also gives you your account ID right here. All right, so there are three main pages on the app. You have your home page, and this gives you a walkthrough of the different parts of the app. And then you have your GitHub class management and then your Harvest class management. The purpose of these two parts of the app is to automate the process of inviting users to either GitHub organizations and repositories or Harvest Harvest projects and Harvest clients. So we'll start with the GitHub class management. If we click on that, we have three options that pop up. Either you can upload repositories and teams, you can upload users, or you can delete GitHub elements. Something important to note on all of these is, except for deleting elements, is you have a template file that's provided. There are two template files for the GitHub side, and there's one for the Harvest side that's the same as the user's template file for the GitHub side. So with the GitHub side, with the template files, think of it as two separate processes. You're uploading repositories and teams, and you're uploading users. So the template file for this looks as follows. So you have these columns with the GitHub prefix, and you have team, repository, organization, and permission. The way to think about this is this team is associated with this repository and this organization. The organization's inputted up here. So each file can only be associated with one organization. The relationship between team and repository is repository to team is a one-to-many. So many teams can be on many repositories and vice versa. In this case, we have two new repositories that can be created in the BYUIR organization. We have test repository Uno and repo test 3. And then we also have two teams that are missing that will be added, test team 4 and test team 3. So if we confirm these changes, it'll prompt us when the actions are done. So repositories posted, teams posted. So if we go here to BYUIR, we have our two new repositories, and then we also have our two new teams. All right, for upload users, there's also a template file, and this template file is also the same one that's used for Harvest. If you notice, we have columns with a GitHub prefix, and then we also have columns with a Harvest prefix. For GitHub, it only looks at these columns that have the GitHub prefix, so their username, team, organization, and permission. And since both of these users are already inputted into the BYUIR organization, there's an empty set. So you can hit the confirm button, but it won't do anything. Also, something to note is these users will also be added to these GitHub teams. So if we go into here, we should see that Aaron Ritchie was added into test team 3, like it shows right here. Then the last option that we have for the GitHub app is deleting specific elements. So I'll go through and delete these new ones that we've created and kind of walk through how it works. So you have two options for deleting. You have this drop-down box, which is a multi-select tool. So we can select repo test3, which we just created, and test repository uno. And be really cautious with this part of the app, because when you select repositories and when you hit yes, it immediately just deletes these repositories. So just be really careful with that. So if we hit yes, it'll delete each of these repositories. And if we go back over to our repositories, we'll see that they're gone. The other option you have is you can upload a file with a repository column, and it'll delete all of the repositories in the column. We also have teams. We'll do the same thing. We'll delete our two teams that we created, and we'll do that. And then we can also delete users from teams. Since we just deleted the two teams that we created, we're left only with Tyler's repository that he created. So we could choose to delete Tyler, but we'll hold off from that. We also have deleting users from organization. If for some reason you need to remove a user from the organization, you can select them and remove them. We'll go ahead and keep Aaron for now. So that's it for the GitHub side of the app. The Harvest side of the app is really similar. It's a lot more straightforward. You have the same template file that you do for the GitHub users. If we look at the columns again, they have the Harvest prefix, and the way it's set up is you have your Harvest project name, Harvest client name, and their email. And then it also looks at the first and last name. So what it does is it looks at the unique Harvest client names in the column, and it looks for the ones that don't already exist on the Harvest website. We can see that with the clients, these are the clients we currently have. So the new client that will be created is test. The following projects will be posted. So it does the same thing with the project, but then also links it to the client. So this project, test project, will be populated under the test client. And then also it looks for new users and posts them to the respective project. So if we confirm these changes, we can watch as they happen in the app. So if we refresh, we have the new test client. If we go over to projects, it's broken down into the specific clients. And under the test client, we have our new project, test project. If we select test project, we should see Aaron Ritchie and Brandon Ritchie added to there. Okay, let's say we want to delete the ones that we just created. It's the same way with the GitHub class one. It's broken down by users, projects, and clients. So we'll delete the new client that we just created, test mail. And the way that this works is it looks at the email. So since I'm already in here with my school email, and I have the same name as the one with the test email that I created, it creates two separate users. So we'll delete both of these users. And then for projects, it takes the client and then, it takes the project and then parentheses puts the client. So we want to delete test project from the test client. And then for clients, we want to delete our test client. Okay, and that's about it for the app. Last thing that's important to note is with the template file, you want to make sure you right click it, and then save link as, and then make sure you save it as a CSV file. I hope this works for you guys. Thanks.